for the Kingdom over Donegal in a huge win for Kerry. That's 2 wins from 3 now, 5 points from 3. Certainly puts them well within contention of winning yet another Alliance National Football League, and certainly puts them within contention of being up there in the final, if not competing in the top 2, because another very, very dominant display in what was a victory really that was set in stone quite early on. Kerry were the side. They were, Donegal were the team with most of the possession, but in an almost similar fashion to the way Dublin were playing last night. Donegal side-to-side hand passing, slow build-up play, nothing really happening in front of them, not much emphasis on kick passing. And I just think that style of play is nearly dead in the water in many ways now, especially at inter-county level. And we've seen Kerry, when they had the ball, they were aggressive, they were attacking on the front foot, they were making things happen. And even with David Clifford rested and obviously coming off the bench, he was playing Sigerson Cup, of course, during the week. So I wasn't too surprised to see him not start. Kerry still stood up, and they show that they have, an abundance of talent in their squad really going forward, that they don't just rely on a player of the quality of David Clifford. They're still more than capable of winning quite comfortably without him. And even Killian Spillane, who was very impressive with 2 points on the day, but Sean O'Shea, absolutely unbelievable. Scored a point from the sideline, the very first point of the game. And in those conditions as well, like, that's just absolutely out of this world. It's unbelievable stuff. And, just when he plays in that number 11 role, he's absolutely incredible. He really is. And one of the best footballers in the country. We'll get some of the scores on screen. We'll get the Kerry scores on screen there. As you can see there, so Killian Spillane with 2 points, Paul Gainey with a point, Paddy Clifford in there with a point as well, Sean O'Shea with 7 points, Dan O'Donoghue, you can just about see it there in the bottom right hand corner of that crop there, with a point. And David Clifford, who came off the bench, the only player who came off the bench to contribute to the scoreline, finishing with 1-1, and a lucky enough goal in some ways. He was clearly going for the point, underhit the ball, but in these treacherous conditions, anything can really happen. And the ball just bobbling in front of Sean Patton, who completely misjudged it and then ended up in the back of the net. Would make you wonder, in these sort of really bad conditions, should teams maybe going for more goals, maybe taking more of a risk going for goal, because very tough for goalkeepers in those conditions. It really is. And I've seen a couple of other clips and whatnot of some other goals have happened across the country today already, and some of them quite bizarre in many ways. And with those conditions, you can understand why. Donegal, as I said, just very laboured in attack, just very, just very uninspiring. But you'd Conor O'Donnell with 2 points, Shane O'Donnell with 2 points, Paddy McBrearty with 2 points, and Owen Ban Gallagher was the other man who got on the score sheet there for Donegal, with no scores coming off the bench at all. And as I was saying, for Donegal in the first half, it was very, very slow stuff indeed. Finished the first half with 2 points. Didn't kick their third point of the game until I think it was nearly halfway through the second half. They had a bit of a spell at the end of the second half, but again, wasn't particularly brilliant at all. Far too one-dimensional, way too easy for Kerry to defend. And you could tell they were missing the influence of Michael Murphy in this game, who is obviously out with a hamstring injury at the minute. But when Kerry were on the attack, they were moving right, they were creating space, and Donegal were struggling to deal with that, even in the treacherous conditions. And they were just making more things happen when they attacked, whereas with Donegal, it was very predictable, and you could kind of tell really what they were trying to do. And I felt like for Kerry, that was, bread and butter defending really, and they were very well set up, and they didn't allow Donegal to get in behind them at all. I don't remember any goal chances of any significance at all for Donegal. So Kerry will be very happy with that indeed. And I suppose from a Kerry point of view, I think that's 1 goal conceded now in their opening 3 games, which they'll be happy with. Obviously, since Paddy Tally's come in, there's been a big emphasis being placed on Kerry to improve their defence, and it's fairly evident that it's been there in the opening 3 games of the season, and very, very decent defensively in this game as well. But the story definitely belongs to Sean O'Shea, who was exceptional, hitting 7 points, man of the match, absolutely brilliant. No doubt about that. He was absolutely fantastic from start to finish. Paul Gainey with a point in there as well. As I was saying, back starting quite regularly under Jack O'Connor, which, and he's coming back into more form that we've seen of a couple of years ago as well. So that was impressive. Brilliant around the middle as well. Jeremy O'Connor, Jack Barry, and defensively, Paul Murphy, decent, impressive enough with Tyg Morley as well, who I thought had a very good game. And Donegal just struggled really to create anything at all. And it was a very sort of a game played at the pace really of the National League. You could tell this was a National League game by a country mile really, and with the conditions and all the rest. Look, for Donegal, they still have 3 points on the board there. You would still expect them to finish in around the middle. Will they get dragged into a relegation battle? They will. They will need to be careful. Still got some tough games to go, obviously. But they've already played Mayo now. They've already played Tyrone as well, or they've already played Kerry as well. I think they've got Dublin, Monaghan, Armagh in their final 4 games there. So, look, it's not the end of the world from a Donegal point of view, but for Kerry, marching on, and I think impressive enough to see that even without David Clifford on the pitch, they still control this game really from start to finish, and it just never looked in doubt at all. It was very, very comfortable stuff, and nearly even more comfortable than when they played Dublin 2 weeks ago. It was very, very comfortable, and they just control the flow of the game, control the tempo of the game, and even that late goal from David Clifford, which certainly was very fortuitous, didn't make a whole impact in the game. And Donegal, who rallied a little bit, they started to kick a couple of points with McBrearty and Conor O'Donnell, but even at that stage, it was very much over. And yeah, one would wonder, is Donegal's playing style at the minute under Declan Bonner, of all the hand passing and very little sort of kick passing, very little movement up top, very little not much variation in their play. One would wonder, is that going to be successful for Donegal in 2022? I certainly don't think it will be, but look, Kerry can't take anything away from them. By far the better side, comfortable in the win in the end, winning the game by 9 points. So yeah, if you could leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this match reaction and this content, I would very much appreciate it. And Tyrone and Kildare obviously kicking off, or throwing in, I should say, in about a matter of moments. So there certainly will be a match reaction after that. And we'll see what happens there. But big win for Kerry. March on with a 9-point victory.